Hey guys, I'm Janet on occasion, and today we're playing the Total War Warhammer II Battle Replay. So this is quite a silly one. This is High Elves versus Tomb Kings, which I think you could do quite simply, but no, I decided to be a bit daft. So anyway, spearmen, 2 spearmen there, 3 spearmen here. I've got 2 bolt throwers. I think bolt throwers are pretty nice. You know, they're quite good for shooting at Ushabti or, you know, any sphinxes or anything. They get some good damage in over time. They're not too bad. And they're not such a huge threat that they have to go all in to try and get rid of them. So they tend to survive a little bit longer. But they're easily ambushed just by some cheap, you know, like skeleton horsemen or something. So got to watch out for that. But yeah, they can get some good damage in. Also, I have a Mage of Life. So the Mage of Life got her on a horse. Or him. I think it's a her, isn't it? Yeah, it's a her. Anyway. So I've got Major Life, and that's always useful. That's about it, really. So I've got Flesh to Stone, which would be very nice. There's often not a lot of armor-piercing stuff in the front line. You know, Tomb Guard, not a lot of armor-piercing. With halberds, yes, but normal, no. No, they don't. So usually you can use Flesh to Stone to make your guys way more survivable, give them a ton more armor. I've also got Earthblood, Regrowth, and what's it called again? The Awakening of the Wood, which is kind of nice. It's good for hitting sort of enemy archers and things. It's good for disrupting those lines and getting some good damage into those lightly armored targets. So it's pretty good. So I like that. And of course, the mages do have a couple of good items for restoring their winter magic. Also, I have Tyrion. So Tyrion, he's got a load more armor piercing than he used to, which is lovely. He's nice and quick on that steed. Obviously, he's got Feint and Riposte, which puts his stats up to like 100 and 100 melee attack and defense, which is crazy. And Stand Your Ground, putting melee defense even higher, and for surrounding things. Sunfang will just melt through any infantry the Tomb Kings have. Just none of them have the armor to shrug off the damage from Sunfang, so it's absolutely wonderful. So I like Tyrion there, very nice indeed. And yeah, I also have, where are they? Here they are. They're running to the trees. So I have these 2 Frostfire, sorry, not Frostfire, Flamespire Phoenixes. So these guys are wonderful. That magic and fire damage is great because Neru's Incantation of Protection is quite a common spell, and that adds physical resistance, while the magic damage is going to ignore that. And also, all the Tomb King's lords and heroes are weak to fire. So, fire, brilliant. And if they do just go with hordes of infantry, you can just bomb them all with the bombs they've got. So that's pretty great. And because they can come back to life, I don't have to be so sort of, I don't know, on the ball healing them. They're a little bit more forgiving for, you know, expensive targets, so it's kind of nice. Although the Fear and Terror won't help me in any way, which is a shame. Also, where are they? Hard to spot them. Here they are. I have the Fireborn. So the Fireborn, again, fire damage, great against the Lords and Heroes. Anti-large, great against the Lords and Heroes. They're almost always mounted. And, yeah, just very, very handy units. Very good. And, yeah, a lot of good resistances and things. There's a ton of armor. Just very, very nice. Love them. So that's that for my army. So my opponent, so you see he's got Tomb Guard in the front. So just the standard ones. No armor piercing. Yay. Tomb Guard, Tomb Guard, Tomb Guard with halberds. Okay, and Tomb Guard with halberds. Oh dear. Not ideal. But he does have his Ushabti. Here, he has some more Ushabti with great bows, so 2 Ushabti with great bows, really to stop them. But he also has these Screaming Skull catapults, which are great for hitting leadership, and they can do some damage over time, because they're not going to be the priority for me. I need to stop the Ushabti more than I need to stop the Screaming Skull catapults. So it's pretty cool. So he actually has a Tomb King on a War Sphinx, which is very cool, very reliable, not quite as expensive as something like Cetra, but very, very damaging, very, very scary unit. So I like that a lot. Also, oh, was that more Tomb Guard? More Tomb Guard. And he has some Carrion in the back. And I think he might have another unit hidden somewhere, but I can't quite tell. Anyway, there's a lot of trees in this map. So, speeding things up. So, one thing which is interesting is you'll notice there's no spellcaster. So, I'm at a slight advantage there, because spellcasters are always going to pay for themselves. They are always worth bringing. But I've brought quite a memey army, so I'm quite happy for this to, you know, go ahead. So anyway, so more shots coming in. I'm trying to hit the Ushabti. They're all running into the trees, which is actually pretty good for me, because I've got my Fireboard in the trees. So I'm able to chase them away again, which is nice. So getting some damage into these guys. But Screaming Skull catapults, they're going to open fire into all of my units. So I'm moving, whoops, sorry about the camera, moving everything up. And, yeah, you can see the equal bolt throws. They don't like getting shot at by those Screaming Skull catapults. It's not good for them. So, in here, you can see my Fireborn are going to run in. Well, I'm zigzagging a bit. It's quite hard to tell what's in here. It could be it can be a bit tricky. So I'm going to charge back in a second. My front line's going to start engaging, trying to pin down these guys. I've got my Flamespire Phoenixes running in here. I'm going to try and get hold of his Tomb King. So here I've got Tyrion running in as well. And you can see just the Fireborn on their own. They've done a ton of work here. They've done a ton of work. And I thought this would be a prolonged engagement, so I used a regrowth. But no, he is being wise to run away. And my Flamespire Phoenixes can get involved pretty soon too. So still getting some shots into the Great Bows, but I haven't managed to deal with any of them. And now... Nope, not quite yet. Not quite yet. I was thinking the Carrion had moved in. They're on their way though. But these Tomb Guard will absolutely slaughter my Spearmen. They will win that fight pretty happily. I'm keeping them busy while I'm harassing the back line, but the things I'm harassing the back line with are still going to be very good. Because, I mean, it's Tomb Guard with halberds, with that armor-piercing and anti-large, it's going to be tough. You can see the Sunfang almost wiped out those Skeleton Spearmen in one hit. I mean, yeah, there's 70 models still, but they've taken a ton of damage, which is really nice. So, Flamespire Phoenixes running in to deal with these Tomb Guard a bit. Tyrion running in to deal with these Tomb Guard a bit. I'm just retreating a little. I want to try and break some of these units, so the rest of my army can get involved and start pinning this stuff down. See, I do have some Spearmen that managed to get in here, which is very nice. But the Fireborn are under a lot of pressure here. They're being shot at pretty heavily. And here, one of my units is getting wrapped up. So Eclaw Bolt Thrower isn't going to be able to shoot. He just shot, didn't he? Yeah, he's trying to make me look bad. Anyway, so I've still got these guys online for the most part. Trying to get through these Ushabti, but it's taking some time. It really is. But here, got some more healing, just an Earth Blood on the Fireborn. But they are really struggling. They are taking so much damage from all this ranged fire. But I'm getting through a lot of their infantry, which is nice. Which is very nice for me. So, including Tomb Guard crumbling. Lovely. But I need to get these Phoenixes in and start harassing these units. I can't leave these guys alive. They're just getting too much damage into my Fireborn. That are charging in very, very recklessly. A load of them charge straight into the Tomb Guard there. But I'm trying to bowl these guys over. I'm getting to his catapults, getting to a bit of everything. My other Phoenix with his armor piercing would be great for dealing with these Ushabti. Tyrion's in here just trying to help fight with the Spearmen, but he's going to have to push forward in a second. But of course, anytime he's in combat, he is going to be getting Sunfang back, so that's pretty great. And here, the Tomb King is going to come in to try and help, but of course he's very damaged, so that's great for me. And you can see the Ushabti are having a real tough time in this fight, so that's lovely. They've stopped firing for a bit, so that's even better for me. But unfortunately, my Fireborn, yeah, I did get a Flesh to Stone on them, try and keep them going. But, I mean, 170 armor is ludicrous. But it was enough. They have broken. I've got an Earth Blood on them, though. Well, I did. That's gone now. So they will come back. There's still 16 models. So they're back. Not great, but not terrible. That's, yeah. Not great, but not terrible. But unfortunately, my front line is really starting to suffer. Oh, and here we go, Skeleton Horsemen. I told you some of them were somewhere. So my back line has been wiped out, which is a pity. But I couldn't spare the Spearmen. You know, I'd spent so much money on my ridiculous Phoenixes that it made it very tough. It made it very tough indeed to protect the back line. I had to advance and push up because I couldn't just let my single models come in here and do all the work. Something else had to come in, or else they were just going to get bogged down. So that's a real pity. So here, I managed to get onto the Screaming Skull Catapult with my cavalry, and then pull out before the halberds could catch up. And now, I've got a bit of an in. I mean, there's still some halberds here, but I am able to get to the Ushabti to an extent. Tyrion gets a brilliant hit on one of them, and the Flamespire Phoenixes are getting some good damage into the Tomb King. And the other Flamespire Phoenix is getting in the way, so these Ushabti are just running straight into him. So that's not too bad. Skulls being thrown. Yeah, most of my infantry is gone, which is not good for me at all. They are rallying though. Oh, that's not a rally, that's just my mage hanging out. So fair enough. So getting some good damage into some very valuable units, but most of my army's gone already, which is not ideal. But still got the Fireborn in here, getting some good damage. I think I use another regrowth on them. There we go, another regrowth. But I am really stuck on these Tomb Guard with halberds. I need to pull these Fireborn up and around and out. But luckily, Skeleton Horsemen are charging in. With that regrowth, they're not going to do too much damage. So that anti-large is really going to help get rid of these guys. Carrion, not large targets, but quite flimsy, so that's fine too. So yeah, Fireborn, they are healing through this, but it means I'm not really gaining anything from that regrowth. And here, I'm going to use a Sunfang, because all these guys have really good fire resistance, so it doesn't even matter. So there we go. So barely scratched the Fireborn with their fire resistance, barely scratched Tyrion with his fire resistance. So yeah, just got a load of damage into those Tomb Guard, really helped. But he is summoning Ushabti on top of me as well, and he's still got just a billion units back here, and one of my Phoenixes has had it. So that's bad, and I've got units that could be returning, but no, they're still getting bombarded by those skulls, which is very bad for me. So really it's just down to my small amount of units, and unfortunately my Fireborn are really, really stuck Now, they are really stuck in here. They're getting some great damage in, but it's too much. Too much for them. It's too much. All the summons and the halberds and all these returning infantry, they just got overwhelmed. It's a real pity. But Tomb King's nearly dead, so that's nice. That's definitely nice. So here you can see I've got my Flame Spire Phoenix coming in to try and help finish him off. And stick on my mage, who hasn't really been touched yet, which is nice. And this Flame Spire Phoenix, unfortunately, is having to fight Ushabti, which is favourable for the Flame Spire Phoenix, but of course these are summoned Ushabti. I'd rather just get out of the way of them, you know? I'd rather just not be fighting them. So once again, my Flame Spire Phoenix broke. And yeah, I still haven't dealt with this Tomb King. So here, I'm trying to get the mage on him, but it turns out that the Ushabti, the banner was there, but they're actually in a massive line right across. So they've gotten in the way, which is also very annoying. So here, I've got my Fireborn charging in. Because, yeah, no halberds in here right now. Although it could just be the flags are in the wrong place. But I wanted to get into these Ushabti, get some good damage on the charge, knowing that these guys can't do a whole lot more. So I just kind of threw them away, just to keep these guys busy, because I didn't want more stuff with mass. Because anything else with mass is a good target, like their Tomb King that just died. And now I'm going to bombard these guys a little bit. But unfortunately, he's still got the Carrion in the air, which sucks for me. Because I really need to get these guys bombarding, but he's got Carrion parked right on top, which is very clever. Very good, just to block my ability to do that. And so Mage still hanging out. Mage should just charge into these Ushabti at this point, to be honest. But here, they've chased the weaker Flamespire Phoenix, which to be fair has a load of bombards that I could be using before it dies, but I'd rather have the healthy one bombard these guys and can join the fight in a second. So this Flamespire Phoenix is being sacrificed. And as you can see, I'm getting a lot of damage in. A lot of damage indeed. I'm still not sure if it tracks kills yet. Anyway, Flamespire Phoenix, this one is actually going to charge in. Unfortunately, the other one doesn't get reborn. Oh yeah, it does. Oh, hello. But he's shattered, is he? Oh. Oh, well that's great, isn't it? That's great. Oh, thanks, game. Anyway, another Sunfang. Yeah, Tyrion's getting a lot of kills. 219 kills so far. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Can't complain. And the mage is stuck in trying to deal with Ushabti. But Tomb Guard with Halberds is a problem. Beautiful, whatever that's called. You know what it's called. Awakening of the Wood. There we go. So, yeah, getting some good damage. Only 14 kills for the mage, but it all helps. And the Phoenix is managing to deal with them. But I'm so annoyed. I got a bloody Flamespire Phoenix coming back. And, yeah, a lot of health. It's got 3,500 health and it's shattered. That is so frustrating. I can't believe that happened. So, that's very upsetting for me. Because that would have been great to have him come back. But, yeah, they're not the most reliable things in the world. Anyway, Catapult's still firing, which I can't stop him. There's no way. Anyway, these Ushabti are crumbling now, which is pretty great. The mage is winning this fight. You know, these mages aren't the worst. They're not half bad. So, pretty good weapon strength. And Ushabti, with great bows, are surprisingly flimsy. So anyway, Phoenix still just... This is really good for the Carrion, to be fair. The Phoenix should not be fighting things like Carrion. I just had nothing else to do that, and maybe I should have just thrown the Phoenix into the melee. Maybe that would have been better. Anyway, got some other units returning. Hang on. Oh, they've got some Tomb Guard there. How about that? Didn't even realise. So, still slugging it out. So, now the Phoenix can come in, wipe out the Ushabti, and it looks like everything is starting to crumble. Because Heart of Avalon procced. So Tyrion had almost no health, so balance power was even. Then he got all his health back because he'd been damaged so much the Heart of Avalon procced, and suddenly my balance of power just like doubles. So yeah, Heart of Avalon winning another fight. It's kind of ridiculous how that works. But anyway, Pyrrhic victory, huzzah! Yeah, it's a bit of a silly one. I just think Phoenixes are a lot of fun, and Tyrion is a lot of fun. But this is by no means meta. That's all. I think this army is far too small. I think I would have been better off maybe with maybe an extra unit of Dragon Princes instead of the Phoenixes, and replace the other Phoenix with, you know, just some more infantry or something. You know, some White Lions would have been nice, but just something a bit more robust for the front line, because this was a bit silly. But it was a lot of fun. I think that's more important sometimes. Yeah, bring a fun army. This is actually sort of based on an army I used to bring a lot against the Skaven. I was used to bring Tyrion for his, you know, sort of durability, and Sunfang, and then just a few Spearmen, and a couple of Loathen Seaguard or Illyrian Reaver Archers, and then like 3 Phoenixes. And it worked out great, because you'd end up with such a tiny army, with like Tyrion and a Spellcaster, usually a Lawmaster or Hoeth, because they're the most survivable Spellcaster, just a tiny blob of units, and you just get completely swarmed, and you just drop bombs on everything with the Phoenixes, and 3 Phoenixes diving on top of anything will just murder it, so it's pretty hilarious to pull that kind of move. But Tomb Kings, they're a lot more varied. I find. They have a lot more varied roster. So it's a bit of a tough one, I think. A lot more sort of armor and all the healing. It's a bit of a nightmare. Better leadership. Yeah, it doesn't quite work the same way. But I thought I'd give it a go. And it was a lot of fun. So that's enough for me. So yeah. Yeah, good times had by all. So guys, if you enjoyed this, please do comment, like, and subscribe. And I will see you in the next one. Have a good day, guys.